Besma Ab, Weld, Wema Feskadus, Adawamlak. Besma Ab, Weld, Wema Feskadus, Adawamlak. Besma Ab, Weld, Wema Feskadus, Adawamlak. Amen. Yes, blessed love, good morning. Um, so, here, giving thanks for this day, giving thanks for the opportunity of this day, and I continue with the reading of the Ethiopian Bible on chapter 15 of Genesis. Here starts the reading. And these things the word of Yahweh has been to Abraham in a vision, saying to him, Do not fear, Abraham, I am a shield to you. Your reward is exceedingly great. And Abraham says, Lord Yahweh, what do you give to me? Am I going childless? And an acquired son in my house is Demesek Eliezer. And Abraham says, Behold, to me you have not been given seed, and behold, a servant will be my heir. And behold, the word of Yahweh is to him, saying, This one will not be your heir, but he who comes out of your bowels, he will be your heir. And he brings him outside and says, Now look attentively towards the heavens and count the stars, if you are able to count them. And he says to him, This is your seed, and he has believed in Yahweh, and he reckons it to him righteousness. And he says to him, I am Yahweh, who brought you out of Ur and of Chaldees, to give to you this land to possess it. And he says, Lord Yahweh, whereby do I know that I possess it? And he says to him, Take for me a heifer of 3 years, a female goat of 3 years, a ram of 3 years, a turtle dove, and a young bird. And he takes all these to him, and he separates them in the midst, and he puts each piece opposite its fellow. The bird he has not divided, and the ravenous bird comes out of the carcasses, and Abraham causes them to turn back. And the sun is about to go in, a deep sleep has fallen on Abraham, and behold, a terror of great darkness has fallen to him. And he says to Abraham, Knowing that your seed is a sojourner of the land, not theirs, they have served them, and they have afflicted them 400 years. And a nation all whom they serve I judge, and after this they go out with great substance, and you come to your fathers in peace, you are buried in a good age. And the fourth generations turn back here, for iniquity of the Amorites is not yet complete. And it comes to pass, the sun has gone in, and thick darkness has been, and behold, a furnace of smoke, and a lamp of fire, which has passed over between those pieces. And in that day has Yahweh made an Abraham a covenant, saying, To your seed I have given this land, and from the river of Egypt to this great river, the Euphrates river, the Kenite and the Kezonite, and the Kadmonite, and the Hittite, and the Perizzite, and the Rephaim, and the Amorite, and the Canaanite, and the Girashite, and the Jebusite. For these few words I give thanks. Um, so again, another interesting reading. I think biblical language can be, it can be difficult sometimes to extract the story out of, what's being said or what's being written. But I think lots of things being hidden in these things. I think the first thing in this chapter, that it's a very intimate conversation between Abraham and God. And I think the interesting thing about the relationship between Abraham and God, and as we've seen so far, this relationship between God and humans is being really negotiated in these early parts of the Bible, is that it's what God sees in Abraham rather than what Abraham sees in himself. So God is reassuring Abraham, because of his loyalty and his faith, he shall be rewarded. So it's what God sought out Abraham. It wasn't that Abraham was in favor of God's eyes because of what he was doing. God made a promise to Abraham, and this is now God seeing it through and confirming to him. So Abraham's saying, am I to go childless? I don't have an heir. And God's saying, don't worry, that will be fine. Look at the stars in the sky, and you see the stars in the sky, and that will count to your descendants. And he says, you will get the land of Canaan as I've promised to you. So he's reassuring Abraham all the step away that his loyalty and his faith will be rewarded. And then he asks Abraham to take the animals, and when he talks about separating the animals and dividing them, that's Abraham basically cutting them and dividing the spoils, so that kind of form of sacrifice. So it's about, yeah, this building kind of relationship, and then what's going to come in terms of, God's kingdom established on earth, descended from Noah, but descended from Abraham as the kind of the first patriarch, really. So yeah, very interesting. Also, I think the other final thing to mention is that he mentions that the descendants of Abraham will be cast into slavery in a land that's not their own for 400 years. So God's foretelling what's about to happen, in the book of Exodus, etc. But saying, even after all that, you are God's people, and my covenant will be, adhered to and fulfilled. So yeah, it's a very intimate chapter, but yeah, very beautiful, and a lot of things kind of hidden in this. What also is quite a short chapter as well. So I'll end it there. Blessed love, have a good day. Get a breath for cure, and may the day be all that you fulfill. And yeah, hope to catch some people tomorrow. All right, blessed love. I'll end there. Get a breath for cure.